You are with Talks on the Way of Wisdom, the forum that discusses star battles in human consciousness, the fragrance of virtue. Have you ever heard of a fragrance that rises higher than the most expensive and rare fragrances? Buddhist tradition reveals to us that despite the fragrances of sandalwood and blue lotus, only the fragrance of virtue reaches heaven. How is this possible? In a world where the material and the sensual often blind us, a person's true worth is measured by his virtues. The fragrance of virtue is a metaphor for the impact we leave on the world through our actions and intentions. It's time to think, what are we leaving behind? Think of a simple floral bouquet. It is beautiful, fragrant, but how long does its fragrance last? One day, two, the flowers fade and their fragrance disappears. In contrast, virtue is not transitory. It outlives everything, words, memories, even time itself. It is like an invisible fragrance that knows no bounds and no limits. The ancient scrolls teach us that virtue is a gift that we carry within ourselves and pass on to the world. Every small act of kindness, a genuine smile, helping someone in need, forgiving someone, spreads like a fragrance that reaches everyone around us. But how can we cultivate that fragrance? How can we make it a constant companion in our lives? In this article, we will look at why the fragrance of virtue is unique, what its spiritual dimensions are, and how we can cultivate it. We will be inspired by Buddhist teachings that show us the way to a deeper and more meaningful reality. It is time to take this way and leave a mark that will never fade. The fleeting joys. The world is filled with small joys of delights that we call fragrant and fragrances. They make us feel comfortable, relaxed, and happy. But as the ancient scrolls suggest, even the most beautiful scents of flowers or sandalwood have their limits. They only reach those who are physically close to them. This symbolizes the fleeting nature of material happiness. No matter how attractive it may seem, it cannot reach the heavens. Think about it. How often are we obsessed with material pleasures and external glamour? We buy new things, we strive for recognition, we seek praise. In the process, we forget that these things are temporary. Like the fragrances of flowers, they disappear quickly. Over time, we realize that material joys do not bring true satisfaction. The ancient texts point us to a deeper truth. Virtue is that which has eternal value. It does not depend on physical presence or momentary feeling. The fragrance of virtue reaches not only those around us, but heaven itself. It is a symbol of our inner world, a world of pure intentions, good deeds, and spiritual growth. It reminds us how important it is to cultivate the good in ourselves, to develop it and share it with others. Just as the fragrance of flowers is carried on the wind, so virtue spreads its power far beyond our borders. It is not limited by time, place, or physical space. The fragrance of virtue. Buddhist teachings point us to the idea that virtue has the power to transcend all material limitations. While the fragrance of flowers spreads only near, the fragrance of goodness reaches the sky and stays among the gods. Virtue is not limited by time or space. It is transmitted through our actions, words, and thoughts. In a world filled with noise and distraction, few people pay attention to their inner world. Often we seek happiness outside, forgetting that true happiness comes from our virtue. A sincere word, a gesture of compassion, or helping someone in need all make a difference. Imagine your life as a garden. The flowers in this garden are our virtues. If we care for them, water them with good intentions and deeds, they will bloom and fill the world with fragrance. This is the power of virtue. It not only ennobles us, but everyone around us. Buddhist wisdom guides us to choose this way. The way of virtue is the way of true freedom, of meaning and spiritual harmony. It is eternal and timeless. How to cultivate the fragrance of virtue. To reach the true fragrance of virtue, we must live mindfully. Goodness is not a simple act, but an ongoing choice that requires humility, compassion, and love for others. According to the ancient texts, one leaves one's mark not with material wealth, but with the virtues one creates. How can we put this into practice? Start with the petty things. Be sincere, help others, forgive and treat with love and respect. Every good deed is a seed you plant in your life and in the lives of others. Goodness never goes unnoticed. Like a fragrance wafting on the wind, goodness reaches everyone, even those we don't know. It changes the world, inspires and brings light. In a world that often seems filled with darkness and chaos, virtue is that ray of light that guides us. According to ancient texts, man's highest goal is to achieve spiritual awakening. To reach this state, we must live in harmony with our values and cultivate good. Let's summarize. The fragrance of virtue is supreme and eternal. In a world of fleeting pleasures and material goods, a person's true worth is revealed through his virtues. They transcend time, transcend space, and reach to heaven itself. What do we leave behind? This is the question each of us must ask ourselves. Our every action, word, and intention matters. Virtue is not just our choice, it is our legacy. It is the light that illuminates the way not only for us, but for everyone around us. So let us live consciously. Let us choose the way of virtue and make it our companion. Let us leave a fragrance that will never fade, the fragrance that is eternal joy. Thank you for watching the video. Don't forget to subscribe and like our channel. We'd love to hear your opinion.